I want to take a few minutes and talk about trusts. This is something that I get a lot of questions about. And normally when someone comes to see me, here's what I get. Well, I went to a seminar last year and they told me that I just had to have a trust. I said, really? Who gave the seminar? Well, some guy that sells trusts. Yeah, okay? What I find is that most people don't need trusts, but trusts are nice. Trusts are expensive, but no more expensive than a probate. Now, trusts are used in a couple of different ways. First of all, you have what's called a testamentary trust. Now, a testamentary trust is a trust that is actually built into your will. Okay, so the more almost always all or part of your estate that's passing through your will, if you have a testamentary trust, is going to be passed to the trust. Then you can have a standalone trust, which is called an inter vivos or a living trust, which is a separate document from your will. Now, a trust is actually a legal entity, okay, like a corporation is a legal entity. It acts through what's called a trustee. The trustee is the person that administers the trust and invests the property, pays the money, and does all of that. So if you've got a husband and wife, what typically you have is this. You have a trust where, while both parties are still alive, those parties, the husband and wife, are the trustees. If one of them passes away, the survivor is the trustee. Then when the survivor passes away, you've nominated or designated someone to be the successor trustee after both of you are gone. The people that create the trust are called the trustors or the grantors. Okay? The people that are ultimately going to get the benefit of the trust are called the beneficiaries. And the people, or the person that administers the trust, is the trustee. So John and Mary can have a trust, put their money in the trust. The trust will actually own the money or own the property. If you have a house, you will deed that house to the trust. You have the John and Mary Trust. Okay? So after the trust is created, John and Mary do a deed from John and Mary to the John and Mary Trust. Now John and Mary Trust owns the land. And whoever the trustee is has the authority to convey the property, mortgage the property, or do whatever. While John and Mary are still alive, that'll be John and Mary. So it's transparent. John and Mary just keep on doing what they're doing. It's just they do it in the name of the trust instead of their own name. And then when John and Mary are gone, they've nominated someone who can then distribute the property the way they want to distribute it. So why would you want to have a trust? Well, there's a couple of different reasons, main reasons. One is if you are in that really, really high tax bracket, one of these days, one of you may get there, and if you do, the trust is a way to avoid death taxes, okay? If you are up in that area, more than $5 million apiece or $10 million for a couple. Another reason you might want to have a trust is if you want to control the distribution, okay? Let's say you have an estate worth $500,000 and you've got two kids that are ages 18 and 20. I ask, okay, you've got a net estate of $500,000. You've got an 18-year-old and a 20-year-old. How comfortable are you dropping $250,000 on an 18-year-old? Okay? How comfortable are you with that? And not very. Okay? All right, so when you create a trust, you can control the payout. You can say they will get it at $1,000 a month. You can say they will get it, they will get X amount of dollars when they graduate with a bachelor's degree, or they will get X amount of dollars, when they reach 30 years old. Okay, I've done this for 27 years, and just within the past 8 months or 10 months, for the first time I heard this, and I think it's brilliant. Couple came to me, wanted to do a trust. We're setting up the trust. And I said, how do you want the payout to your kids? Said, they bring a paycheck to the trustee and we'll match it dollar for dollar.